Hey guys, I'm in Gravit Designer right now and I'm ready to start my pet portrait. I've already chosen my photograph. Now I don't have a pet, so I'm just using a cute picture of this little dog. I'm going to drag it in and I'm going to adjust it down to size. Now what I want to do first is crop it down just to the photograph, and we want to make sure that it's the most perfectly symmetrical that we can get it. So the first thing that we're going to do is double click, and it pulls up these crop marks. And I'm just going to crop this down pretty close to this little puppy's face. And then click outside the box and you can see it's cropped down a little bit closer. However, you'll notice, you'll notice that his face is just a little bit crooked off to the side. So we just want to double click again so that we can just fix this up so his eyes are perfectly in a straight line going across. So we could create almost a T shape going across because that will really help whenever we're adjusting this photo later and just copying one side of the face onto the other. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to now check by creating a line right down the middle of his face. Make a point, draw straight down. You can see this green path mark pulls up just to show me that, you'll see it right here, as soon as it gets perfectly straight up and down, that way I know right where I need things to go. I'm going to make sure his eyes are the same way. There we go. And then from here I'm just going to adjust this around, this picture, so that I can get this really lined up really good. I'm going to move it this way a tad bit. Move it over slightly. There we go. Okay, now my picture's ready to go. I can start tracing one side of my little puppy's face here. Now the reason we're only doing one side is because instead of having to go around and create this entire face and create everything twice, two eyes, the full nostril, both ears, all we have to do is create one side, create the whole thing, copy and paste it, flip it over, and then just mirror it so that it's perfectly symmetrical. So really we're doing half of the work and making it look really nice and like a really good pet portrait. So once you've got this, I'm just going to leave this line here to know where to start and stop my outline. Now I'm just going to start creating my path all the way around my puppy's face. So I'm going to click on the path tool. I'm going to start right here pretty close to my path for the middle. And now I'm just going to start going around and making some of these lines. Let me start again. I constantly have my hand on the Control Z button, so if I ever make a mistake, all I have to do is quickly click Control Z to undo it. Now you'll notice I'm trying to feather in some of these little hairs just to make it look a little bit more realistic, and like this little puppy's got some cute furs kind of popping off his ears. If your pet, or say you're working on a self-portrait and you have hair that's sticking out, this will really add that extra little bit of detail to really make this stand out. There we go. Okay, so right now I'm just going all the way around. So I'm coming all the way up to the face where the ears meet the rounded part of the front of his face. I'm just going to finish this out. Bring this down here. And now I'm back to the very center of his mouth here, and I'm just going to end it off about right there. Okay, I'm going to click enter so that my path completes. From here, I want to make sure that I am in my pointer tool instead of the sub-select so that it selects this whole line that I just created. Next, I want to copy this and then paste it again so I have two copies of this same path line. So to do that, I'm going to say Control C and then Control V. Should have two path lines right there. Okay, so I've got the two exact same different paths here. One of them I want to flip so that it completes this side over here. To do that, you come up here to this flip horizontal button, click it, and now you can see it fits right here pretty close to the other side of that puppy dog's face. If it needs to shrink in a little bit because not everything's perfectly symmetrical all the time, you can go in and adjust things. Now what we need to do, I'm going to move this over. What we need to do is connect this path to this one to complete an entire shape. First I'll show you what not to do. Say I want to connect both of these. This is the first logical thing that you might think to do, is to select them both, come up to Modify, go to Path, and say Connect Path Lines. However, watch what happens. It creates this weird line through the middle, and instead of connecting this line that we want to connect to here, it connects this line all the way up here where we started to this one down here where we ended. The reason it did this is because the line here, it has a specific order that it goes in. It starts here and it's all going in this direction, but we need to reverse the direction so that the path points flip-flop and connect to the other spot. To do this, you're going to click on one of them, say Modify, go to Path, and we need to reverse the order of the path line. Then we can go in and try to select them both, say Modify, say Connect Path Lines. Then you can see we've got a connected path right there. All we have to do to complete this shape is close it off simply by clicking on our Pen tool and connecting those and closing up the shape. There we go. So now we have a shape, it fills in. I'm just going to hide that for now. And that is how you start mirroring and connecting two shapes together to create this entire shape of this little puppy dog's face.